Hi, welcome to my comparison of the Juno 106 and the Roland Cloud soft synth version of the Juno 106. So let's take a look at the plug-in version first. I installed this last night and the first thing I noticed was it looks terrible. Let's go. Whenever you load it up, it always loads into this 100%, which is really small, like one of those old Aria ones or the G Media. It just looks very old-fashioned. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zooms. So this is at 200%, and this isn't the fact that it's coming through the camera. The pixelation that you see in there, if you can see it on YouTube, I don't know, is the fact that it's just a blown-up, smaller image. And you know, I think Roland could do better than that. They've got 5 zoom levels. Just make 5 images, please, because it's just horrible to look at. The other thing I noticed was that I normally use my sub 37 as a controller keyboard, so just assign all MIDI parameters from the sub 37 to each of the parameters on these. So the frequency, I just use the big frequency knob on the sub 37 and it makes playing soft synths a breeze. I can't do it on this. I can't assign different MIDI control messages to different parameters. So for example, if I turn the filter on the sub 37 now, you can be able to see that the noise is moving. I don't know why it's the noise. Let's have a look at my ADSR. Oh, so there you go. This is my attack. As far as a controllable soft synth go, it's useless. What else don't I like about it before we get into what I do like about it? What I don't like is when you start saving things. So for save, let's just save as SC, change SC, I don't know, changed. It doesn't change the name. I know that's a minor thing, but once I've started creating sounds for this, it's just got really annoying. So this is my simple square wave and it's still called Juno warm pad. So let me go to simple, so I've changed this myself in here. Just fiddly things those, but they do start to annoy you once you start using the keyboard and you start playing around with it and you've got to type in the name twice. It just seems a bit sloppy. Okay, sound wise, quite interesting. When I started doing this, I couldn't get them to sound right and I thought my Juno was absolutely hammered because obviously Roland aren't going to make it sound so different. And there's a tone knob here, and what this completely changes the tone and changes the waveform shapes. And the sound that started off, I had this tone set on full, and honestly it's completely different sound, sort of makes it more harsher. Let's get this back to 0 here anyway, and I'll show you that in a second. So after all the things I've complained about, I'll tell you it's stunningly good as an emulation sonically. So let's just take a look at a simple sawtooth on this, and let's play the same on the real thing. So straight away, let's just get up the oscilloscopes to take a look at the wave shapes. So on the left's the original, and on the right is this this emulation. And you can see straight away, and here, they're really close, if not identical. If I change that tone knob on this, you'll just see the difference that makes. So that tone goes from negative, so it sort of adds a lot of bass, to positive, and it adds a lot of higher frequencies there. You can see the wave shape being a bit sort of spiky. So that's one thing that this does. Another thing that this has is a separate envelope as well, so you can have the two. You can emulate the 106 ideally by just using envelope 1, or you can bring in a second envelope. Obviously this has got effects as well. Okay, so let's get this back to 0 if I can. There we go. Option click and it gets it to 0. So these are extremely close, sort of feel like I'm wasting my time doing that. Let's take a look at the square wave then. Another difference on this is that the square and the sawtooth, you can alter the levels on them with the Juno. They're either on or they're off. Anyway, this is a square wave with the pulse width set of 50, so it's down at 0 here. There we go. So it's not what you see, what you get on this, obviously, because if you're loading a new patch, it'll be different. So let's just compare those waveforms. Slight difference is this has got a bit of an angle on it. But yeah, pretty good those. So, I mean, it's not the most difficult synthesizer to emulate, I suppose. Well, let's get to the filter in a minute. But it hasn't got different oscillators doing different tunings, and it also doesn't have any FM. So, you know, looking at how close some of the other demos have done are, I'd expect this to be pretty good. Let's make a bit more of a pad sound from this, shall we? Let's go back into the sawtooth. And if you take a look at these as I'm playing, they're amazingly close. Doing a bit of a Rick Wakeman here. I've got just really stretching from one side of the studio to the other to get them both in, but I think you'll agree they're really, really close. Let's add some chorus because that's part of the Juno sound. Yeah, these are great, aren't they? Let's try something with a bit of PWM then. LFO, pulse width on. Let's turn these off for now. Okay, pulse up, pulse width. PWM on about half-ish, stick on LFO. There's more options on this as well here. You've got LFO envelope 1 minus envelope 2 plus and minus as well, so this can do more. Chorus off. Let's try that little line I was doing earlier. Yeah, it's great. Let's have a little play with the sub then. Super similar again. If you go to 0 on the HPF on this, it actually adds a bit of bass. So you can see there that we've got a square wave. If you take the HPF down to 0, you've got this really sort of rounded shape. It adds more bass. Let's try it with this one. On that, let's just take a quick look at the frequency analysis. I'll show you these. These are spectacularly close as well. Sub. Even down to these little bits up here. Let's have a look at the sawtooth. Really interesting. Just that little sort of slightly lower harmonic at about 750 Hertz. Just here. Same on both of them. I think that's pretty amazing stuff. Again, let's just go for the square wave just for completion. So there's a smaller difference there. If you look at these really low harmonics on there, they're a bit higher on the real deal. Let's just go through the actual width of the pulse from 50% to 0. So there you go. Maybe my real one can't actually get a 50% because I pull it up on the soft synth to what value is that? It's like on 5 out of 255. Them nearly cancel each other out completely there. This is what I use. It's a brilliant little program called Juno 106 for the Mac. It's an editor, and if I'm just going to see if my pots are different. So if if my pots aren't quite up to the task. So by bringing it down on this, I'm sending an electronic message to say it's definitely at 0. Okay, so let's try that. No, it's still, I mean, I've set it to 0, so maybe that, I don't know. But interesting enough that it's slightly not exactly a square. Alright, let's have a look at the envelopes. I've just knocked everything down to 0. And instantly you can hear that this one has a lot snappier. So, you can hardly hear it until the tiniest clicks. So maybe I'll listen to the release. Well, that's going on forever. Let's have a listen to this one. Okay, the main event here is the VCF, is it? Let's have a look at that. So as we add the resonance, lose a bit of bass, try it again. I'm imagining this is going to be identical. You wouldn't have thought Roland would get this wrong, would you? What I'm noticing there though is stepping. It's really hard to get that smooth because as I'm moving the mouse, I've got to use the mouse because I can't use a controller keyboard. So I've got to, I've got to use two hands to do this, one on the keyboard and one on the mouse. So if there is another key, like an alternate or an option key or control to make it smoother, I haven't got enough hands. Okay, let's have a listen to the frequency. Again, I can hear the stepping, and if you can see those numbers there, I don't know if you can, I'll try and zoom in when I'm editing this. The jumping, and I'm just pushing the mouse up, I'm not doing anything different than I'd normally do with a mouse. So I'll read out where it's going from 0 to 5 to 10, 15, 26, 36, 41, 46, 51, 56, 61, 71, 77, 82. So I'm not getting, a nice stream of numbers through there. I'm missing half the numbers out. Don't know why that is. Let's have a listen on here. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Tell you what, let's have a look, like I've done before in the past, at the frequency analysis of those as a step through. Let's try that over here. So much more smooth on the 106. Let's try and do what I did on the Minimoog comparison. Try and tune them both to 1 kilohertz. That's just below, and that's lovely and raspy, that, isn't it? Again, with the 106 though, I can't get as smooth as I like. Maybe the step-in's there because of the MIDI control, the resolution that you got with MIDI in the 80s. But I can't get them to hit the 1 kilohertz. Oh, here we go. By pressing Shift and the key, brought my computer keyboard next to the keyboard. Not ideal that though, is it? Let's try and match them up there then. Yeah, I think it's good. I think if you're making sounds with these, it's definitely got the flavour of it. It's not going to be identical. There's, Is the Juno a bit dirtier than this one? No, about the same, I think. Maybe a little bit dirtier on that. I think they're really close. But what's immensely annoying on this is that you can't control them easily. So I'll just show you what I'm doing actually. for fine control, which I think's a real pain. Okay, so here we have a patch made with just using the VCS and the sub it is. And I've emulated that over here. Sounds pretty good. Let's have a look at an OB bass. I've got something written here. Let's see what that sounds like. Not identical, you know, could spend hours and hours trying to get these exactly precise. Okay, let's have a look at another. The attack's a bit snappy and the release isn't quite right, but there's no getting away from the fact that these sound really, really good. This one's sounding a bit softer, but I'm not sure if that's the settings or anything else. Okay, let's try a couple of others. Sort of a bassy sound. Set the chorus on, see what that sounds like. All very, very Juno-y. I'm massively impressed by the sounds on this. Would I buy it? Absolutely not. I think it looks terrible. It's really difficult to use because I can't assign parameters. I can't use just my standard MIDI setup to play it properly. You can't record any of the MIDI messages live. And it's $20 per month for the whole thing with the Roland. I don't want the whole thing. I'd want this and maybe the Jupiter 8, but I don't want the rest of it. Why do I have to pay $20 a month for forever? It doesn't make any sense. If it was $99 or something, yeah, I'd have it. And if same with the Jupiter 8, but I don't like these subscription models. I can understand why people need the subscription model so they know when they're getting a regular income, but I don't think Roland needs to do that. I think smaller companies it might be more useful for, but Roland really don't need to do a subscription model. I'm sure they've got enough cash in the bank to bankroll themselves to do some more development. All in all though, it does sound brilliant, and if you haven't got a 106, maybe this is the thing for you. But maybe the Tag Audio line, Juno 6 or Taluno 60, is that a Juno 6 or a Juno 60? That might be a better way to go, I think, at the minute. Okay, well I hope that was useful to someone, hope you enjoyed it. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.